I'm Ceres Solutions Agronomist Troy Jenkins with this week's Agronomic Insights. The first crop report projections for 2021 just came out this week. These projections are compared against last year's actual average yields for the respective states. For corn in the state of Indiana, the projections are for 194 bushel to the acre, which is about 7 bushels ahead of last year's actual realized yield. For soybeans, the projections are for 60 bushel, which is about 2 bushels above last year's 58 actual realized yield. For Michigan, the projections are for 169 bushel to the acre of corn, which is about 15 bushels above last year's actual realized average, and 48 bushels to the acre on soybean, which is about 1 bushel ahead of last year. The also crop rating for good to excellent crops just came out for the week of August 9th. And this week we saw a drop in the average rating of 74% from last week's 76% on corn for the state of Indiana, and remained flat at 79% for the state of Michigan for corn. For soybeans, the average dropped from 72% from last week to 70% this week, and remained flat at 72% for the state of Michigan. The biggest reason probably for the drop has to do with the inconsistent rains that have occurred across the state of Indiana. Some areas received some really nice rains. Up in the northern part of the state, we have had over 4 inches of water over the last week, while other parts haven't received any rain or at all, or very low amounts. So many of the April planted cornfields are now in the late dough stage, R4, to mid-dense stage, R5.5, while later planted fields are in the R3 milk stage to R4 stage. The majority of the soybeans are now R4 full pod to R5 beginning seed fill stage, and April planted fields are between R5 and R6 full seed. At this point, water is very, very important to the crop. During the grain fill period for corn, we have a high demand for water, which can be as high as 6.5 to 7 inches of water needed to reach physiological maturity. For soybeans, we need water for that late finish of pods on the top of the plant, and also good seed fill. And the demand can be as high as 5.5 to 6 inches of water to reach physiological maturity. I want to talk about diseases real quick. We have had some diseases blow up. Some of the diseases that have really taken off are southern rust in the southern part of the state of Indiana. Gray leaf spot is pretty rampant all across all of Indiana and all of Michigan, southern Michigan, and all the way up to mid-central Michigan. Tar spot is really taken off in the northern part of the state, has become a problem, although it's still in the medium to light medium stage at or below the ear leaf. It is taken off and becoming more and more of a problem and needs to be watched. Some of the diseases on soybean are frog eye leaf spot, downy mildew, brown spot, and of course sudden death syndrome has become a real issue and really blown up here and is really showing its face over the last week and a half. So some of the things we want to talk about with these corn diseases and soybean diseases that are fungi is to consider a fungicide even at this stage if we have diseases like southern rust or tar spot coming in, or we have frog eye leaf spot in soybean. We want to still consider the use of a fungicide to try to stop these diseases or at least reduce the yield loss potential. For more information on fungicide application, product choice, and timing, consult with one of your Ceres Solutions Agronomy locations.